So floodings, earthquakes, fires, hurricanes, how much of that do we get in Boquete? I'll give you that answer in this video. So we're going to talk about floodings, earthquakes, fires, and hurricanes, but I'll give you another one as soon as we finish those four at the end of the video. So let's jump into it. Wait! Now you're seeing this setup is different, my hair is longer, and why is that? Well, first, I need to address something, and that's the point that I'm about to explain on the video. The first natural disaster that we're going to cover is floodings. I've talked to people about this video, and I mentioned about the natural disasters, and I mentioned that we talked about floodings. And he said, well, we haven't had floodings. And I said, we had. And they said, no, we haven't. And I said, like, yeah, and how do you call when the river levels grow? And he said, like, well, that's a river level grow, but that's it. I mean, it's not like Katrina. It's not like you've seen cars that been dragged by the water around downtown. We haven't had that. And he made my point clear. I mean, we had some rain that grew or raised the water levels of the river, and it took some damage, but that's not a flooding. And I referred to that event as a flooding, and that's not the truth. I mean, I'll post images and videos about a flooding and about what we had, and you'll see the difference. So this is something to have in consideration. If I haven't had this conversation, I probably said that, yeah, we have had floodings, but no, we just had a lot of rain one day, or well, a few days. You'll get the details on the video. And that's what we had. A lot of rain that raised the rivers, the water levels of the river, and that's it. So you'll get to that in detail. Keep watching this video. Had we had floodings? Yes. How many? 4. And I've witnessed 2 of them. So I'll give you my experience. The time that it happened was in 2008. I used to live 3 blocks away from the river, from the Caldera River, which is the one that flooded. And it was a big flood. There was no harms in human lives, just material. There was an old bridge that fell apart, and there were, I think, 2 or 3 houses that fell apart too. The bridge was already old, and the houses didn't respect the distance that you need to have from the border of the river, from the shore of the river to the house, which is in some cases 10 to 30 meters. So you just need to stay away from that and you'll be cool. The second flood that I knew about was in 2009. I was 4 kilometers away in the city of David, and there were no damages. In the flooding from 2008, the municipality put barriers on the borders of the river so it won't happen again. Then there was another flood, but it was nothing major, nothing like the 2 that I already mentioned. I talked about the second, the third, and the fourth, but I haven't talked about the first. The first one was in 1949, which sets a difference of almost 60 years between 1949 and 2008. And continuing with the list of natural disasters, we have earthquakes. We have tremors and we have shakes, but nothing like an earthquake itself. Nothing like Tokyo or California type of earthquakes. The ones that we have had are very little, tremors, which doesn't give you any earthquake damage. It's very rare to see that type of stuff because the building code in Panama protects you from that. We have seismic beams, we have columns, and we have regular beams. How often do they happen? There have been years where we haven't had, but we have tremors probably each year, but it was just like once or twice a year. Nothing major, nothing will happen to your house if it follows the building code. I haven't had any earthquake damage in the house that I've lived, and for example, my grandmother, who was born here and still lives here, hasn't had any earthquake damage in her life. Number 3 on the list are fires. Fires are an agricultural practice that people do in the province of Chiriquí. We have had fires, but not as an accidental or a big fire like the ones that you can see in California. We do have it as an agricultural practice. The own landowners set fire to their lands but because of they do it themselves, they keep a lot of controls over it. Also, we have a fire department that keeps an eye on people that tries to do that as an act of vandalism. It's a very reliable thing. When that happens, they get a call, very quickly show up, and we haven't had any damage that I can recall, not even for families or crops or people.
And the last one, hurricanes. Have we had hurricanes before? Never in the lifetime. Why? Because Panama is out of the path of hurricanes in the Caribbean region. We do have a little extra rainy days because of the hurricanes taking place in the Caribbean area and affecting, but not a hurricane itself, just a lot of rain. And at the beginning of the video, I told you that if you stayed until the end, I'll have another mention for you, and that is that we have a volcano in Panama. We have the Baru volcano, which is 13 miles or 13 kilometers from Boquete downtown. Have we had any eruptions? We had one. When was it? When it happened, America was just being discovered. So it's something that you should never think about it or concern you at all. So that's it, guys. Hope I didn't scare you too much with this video. If you do like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll continue sharing more information about Boquete and about Panama in general. I'm also putting together a course about moving here. What are the things that you need to deal with? What are the things that you need to expect if you're planning on building a home or if you're planning on buying an existing home? When it's ready, I'll put the link below and I'll put it on the screen too for you to not miss it. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.